to get 6 straight winning days. Staying red hot. Had a pair of big dogs yesterday. Biggest one, Detroit plus 172 for 2 units. If you guys
No.
follow.
Pirates plus 176.
Yeah, yes. 2 units on the Tigers. One, the Pirates as well. So insinuating. But yes, I also have Pirates plus 176. So big day. If you guys were on tuned in yesterday, you guys know we were on Detroit. That line just got crushed. Same thing if you were on the Instagram live yesterday. Last time we are here during the week. You guys know we're not here on weekends. Please like, comment, subscribe below so we can keep giving you guys this solid information all throughout next week. John, red hot right now, hitting some big dogs. Did split yesterday, lose a couple late night, couple of 1-unit plays, but still, again, 6 straight winning days. Been a big week.
Yeah. Each day with at least a plus 160 dog or better in it. And as you said yesterday, 2 huge dogs, plus 176 Pirates, plus 172 Tigers. More importantly, a game that closed 132, beat the number by 40 cents, and it played out just the way we thought it would. Not really. We lose our starting pitcher early in the game.
Twice in the series now, we lost a starter in that one.
Right, yeah, right. So both Monday, we took 180 with the Tigers, lose our starting pitcher 2 outs into the game. We wind up winning both games. Again, what we expected, though, total look-ahead game. Texas, best offense in the league for the year, leading in team batting average, runs scored. Not able to get to that Detroit Tiger bullpen after looking ahead to today's game. As we expected, they were able to get to Bradford, the Tigers, and then get into Texas bullpen. So we take a nice W there. Headed full strength going right into the weekend, and let's see if we keep it rolling. I got a couple today.
Yeah, very interesting weekend card. A lot of ownership matchups. Talked about it already with the division trends of Rangers and Houston. Obviously, they're battling for that division. Miami, we're trying to see if they can actually put up a fight here against Atlanta in the NL East. So fun division matchups. First one starts off with Nationals and Phillies, and this just starts right off with ownership. Phillies have won 13 of the last 15 meetings, 9 of the last 10 in Philly last season. Nats come in playing decent ball, though. They've now won 4 or 5, scoring 5 runs per game. Bats waking up. They're 19 and 21 on the road. And then this Phillies team just red hot right now. 4 straight, coming off a sweep against the Cubs. 11 and 3 their last 14. Going to be Gray versus Sanchez. Gray has to have the pitching edge. You guys tune in every day. You guys know every time. Gray on the road, great stuff. 3 and 3, 2.48 ERA. Coming off 5.1 shutout innings against San Diego. And then Sanchez has had 3 starts this year. Last one allowed 3 runs in 5 innings against the Mets and 3 outings versus the Nats last year. Gave up 6 runs across 11 innings. Gray has the pitching edge in this one. Just really tough to go against the Phillies' ownership in this matchup while being red hot. If they want to try and catch the Dodgers and Giants in the wild card, because I don't think they have the luxury to even look on to Atlanta. I think they're 10 games back of Atlanta right now. So they're looking at that wild card. Going to have to beat up on Washington, the bottom team in your division, the team you own. So with that in mind, it's tough, but pitching edge, big price here for Gray. So Nats are nobody.
Yeah, look, Phillies, that's how they did it last year. That's how they got to the World Series through the wild card. So no strangers to there. Yeah, they're red hot. They got me with the Cubs series. That was one of our losers yesterday. Last night, a 1-unit bet on the Cubs. Just thought Hendricks was worth the price. Just couldn't get the bats going against Philly. So Walker did a good job. He's been doing a good job, but here he got it done on the road. Sanchez, little horse of a different color. He's not Nola, Wheeler, Walker, Suarez, which now all of a sudden you look at Philly, they got a nice little rotation.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the back end of their rotation. Sanchez, left-hander, and just keep in mind, Nationals. Look, this team can hit, and they hit lefties. 281 versus lefties. We were on them that whole series against the Padres, on them against the Mariners. It's going to be wash or nobody in this one. Right now, the game looking at around 175. We'll wait to see where the lineups and the line moves later go on. But the price is right. Even though they own them, it's Nationals or nobody.
And heading to the NL Central, it's Brewers versus Pirates. Brewers coming off winning 2-3 against the Mets. They've won 4 or 5, scoring 3.4 runs per game. Meanwhile, the Pirates, they go down 4-0 yesterday against San Diego, rallied back, win that 5-4. They're red hot right now. They've swept that series three straight, scoring 7 runs per game. Brewers did beat the Pirates all 3 earlier this season in Milwaukee. They split 10 in Pittsburgh last year. Peralta versus Beto today. Peralta, he gave up 3 runs in 5 innings at Cleveland his last time out. He did have a quality start versus the Pirates earlier in the year, and 3 starts versus the Pirates last year at a 1.84 ERA. And Beto, they've lost all 3 of his starts, but last time out, 2 runs in 5 2/3 against the Marlins. He had a quality start versus the Cubs beforehand. This Pirates team's hot and cold, and talk about it. Right now, it looks like they're bet on. So they're playing good ball right now. Pitching edge has to go to Peralta. Just a bit more of a big league proven arm. But Beto, in the last 2 starts, been very serviceable, keeping them in games almost 1 out away from 2 quality starts in a row. This is Pirates or nobody to me. Maybe a little bit of a revenge after getting swept earlier this season. And a team that's going well, they have those little comebacks like they did yesterday. So Pirates starting to figure it out a little bit. Lineup's still a little banged up, so don't love that. But Felix Pitt or nobody here.
Tough game here. I don't know if Ben mentioned I'm always watching the lines as we're talking here, but Peralta, real good numbers against the Pirates last year. How are the Pirates getting it done? San Diego's just that bad. Pirates now, without their 3 top players in the lineup, just completed a sweep of the Padres. O'Neal Cruz, who's been out pretty much the whole year, but Reynolds and Cabrian Hayes, who just was hitting .337 this month before they just placed them on the IL. So even without that, they're still getting the job done. Home dog, divisional matchup. Hey, Milwaukee and Cincinnati Reds tied for first place. Pirates right by them still can make another run in them. I don't think they have what it takes to, but they're at home. This will be a game they look for. Home dog or nothing, but I'd need a little higher price.
Then we have Giants at the Mets. Mets still ice cold, coming off a loss against Milwaukee. Now 6-18 their last 24. Meanwhile, Giants, they had their nice little hot stretch. They lose at Toronto last night. They've now dropped 3 of 4, scoring just 1.75 runs per game. So a couple teams going cold right now. Cobb versus Carrasco. Cobb going to be making his first start since earlier in June. He had 3 June starts, went 1-0, 3.24, and does have a little bit of road struggles. And then Carrasco, they've lost all 4 of his June starts. He had a 7+ ERA in the month. Last 2, 8 runs, 7 innings. He's been struggling. Did have a quality start versus the Giants and a 6-2 win earlier this year or last year. This to me is still Giants or nobody. Can't bet the Mets right now. Can't bet Carrasco. I don't want to be on a pitcher in his first start back, but just no way betting here with the Mets. I don't want to bet an under with Carrasco, but both these offense anemic right now, so it'd be an under in this game or nothing for me as well.
Yeah, I think that might be the best way to go, and I'm not a total guy. This is what we can refer to as an abortion game. But nothing across anymore. Remember, they lost Haniger, Yastrzemski, both on the IL. Conforto now. He missed last night, and the night before he basically missed. He played the field, then came off the game. He couldn't go. Now, this is his old team, the Mets. Little motivation maybe to get back on the field. We'll see. But he actually leads the team in home runs. So take a couple of bats out of there, and all of a sudden, San Fran just not scoring. Mets, I don't know where to start this team. So let's just talk a little bit about what happened last night. So you get Scherzer on the mound, and we talk about pitchers in name only, and that's what Scherzer was. He gave him a good outing, but not a Scherzer outing.
Mm-hmm.
7, 8, 6 innings. He went 102 pitches, 6 innings, 2 runs. That's a 3.00 ERA. That's a good outing, but it's not a Scherzer outing. That's that extra 20 cents. That's the edge we wanted. Just kicking myself in the ass. We weren't on the Brewers in that game. Mets are in a world of hurt right now. Carrasco has been absolutely pitiful. You would think Mets, home dog, Cobb first game back, San Fran not hitting. This would almost be a no-brainer. I'm off this game. We'll wait to see who's the worst out of these 2 teams right now.
It's Padres at Cincy. Padres, ice cold, 5 straight. They've dropped 2-8 their last 10, not getting it done with the bats. And then you have this Reds team who's kind of found themselves again. They won 2 of 3 at Baltimore, 14-3 their last 17. Padres do own this matchup, though. They won 14 of the last 16 meetings, 5 of the last 6 at Cincy. We'll see if they can, if this Reds team, bit of a different Reds team, we'll see if they can buck that. Ashcraft versus Lugo, and Ashcraft is just unbackable. He had his last quality start was against the Padres, so maybe there's something there because his Padres offense is that bad. But, all right, and then in 8 starts since then, he went 1-6, 12.82 ERA. So he's just been absolutely getting lit up in the last 8 starts. And since then, those 8 starts, the over is 7-1. So that's what I'm looking at in this game. You have Lugo going for San Diego, and his last 2 starts since returning from the IL, allowed 4 runs in 10 innings, 9 Ks, 1 walk. He's been pitching decent, but just can't back Ashcraft. This Reds team red hot. This Padres team ice cold. They do own the matchup. I just think it's worth a look at the total here. It's 7-1 in Ashcraft's last 8 starts because we're going to get runs tonight.
Yeah, even though they're ice cold, as Ben said, San Diego, they own the series, and I can't back Ashcraft. So again, Cincinnati, red hot, now the most profitable team. If you're betting every day, if you bet 100 on them every day, they're the most profitable team in Major League Baseball. Just can't back them with this Ashcraft, and that the Padres have dominated this series. San Diego's got to come in here, look in the mirror. This is a game they've got to score. I don't know if they're going to win, but they've got this. If you can't score runs off Ashcraft with that lineup, it's just blow it up by the trade deadline.
Then we have Marlins at Braves. More ownership here. Braves won 15 of the last 18 meetings, 7 of the last 8 in Atlanta. They got a 6-game lead on the division right now. Miami, though, they've been playing great baseball. They won 5 straight, 11 of their last 14. Braves, they won 20 of their last 23, 2 of the hotter teams in baseball. Going to be Honig here for Miami. Honig, 2 starts since rejoining the rotation, 9 shutout innings. The last one, granted, it was against a Cole Pirates team when he did it, but 5 no-hit innings at Pittsburgh. Got to take the like that. He had a start versus the Braves back in April, gave up 4 runs in 3 2/3. It's going to be Soraka going for Atlanta, going to be just his 3rd start. Really tough to break this trend here, especially with Atlanta. I mean, every time you look to go against Atlanta the last month, it's just really been a pain in the ass. I haven't gotten much value in it. So it's ownership, everything else here for the Braves. Tough to bucket. I will say the pitching edge has to be there a little bit to Miami, so it's tempting. Miami equally as hot lately. I see the value there, just the ownership. So slightly into the Marlins. Could get a small bet going there on Miami. If they have a chance in this series, this might be the game they have a chance. Just 20-3 Braves. Don't know if you want to go against it.
20-3 Braves. They own them. You got Marlins played at Boston. They got to travel. Atlanta was home to the Twins Wednesday afternoon, so they've been off. So they've just got a lot of little rest time. So just going to stay off this one. I don't expect Soroka to do much. 2 starts so far this year. The last one a few weeks back at Arizona got absolutely drilled. Don't know if this kid's ever going to be the same. We'll sit off this game. Should be an entertaining game, and plenty more to come. Plenty of the games. We'll sit back off for this one.
I'm going to head over some of the AL matchups. Twins at Baltimore. Twins coming off that series against Atlanta where they scored a total of 3 runs, lost all 3 games. They're hitting just .212 their last 6. And then you have this Baltimore team coming off losing 2 of 3 against Cincinnati. The last one was in extras on Wednesday. Prior to that little 4-game win streak. Lopez versus Creamer. Creamer's been solid. They've won 8 of his last 10 starts, and the last 2, both quality starts. 8 runs, 6 earned across 18 and a third. Twins tagged him for 5 runs back in 2021. Bit of a different pitcher since then. And then Lopez, 3 of his last 4 starts, quality starts. Great road numbers, 1-3, 2.94, 6 of 8 being quality starts. But as good as he is, look at that record, 1-3. Twins just struggle on the road. So this is a Baltimore team that's been very hit or miss with the bats. If you look at their last 2 weeks of games, they've had a couple of games where they exploded in runs. That last one against Cincinnati was against Weaver. The first game of that series against Cincinnati against Williamson. Outside of that, they haven't really done too much damage with the bats. So maybe a little bit of a lean to the under here. Minnesota not getting any offense on the road and just lately either.
Yeah, I broiled this one down nice and simply. Let's give Lopez a pitching edge. No, I'm not going to give him no big pitching advantage. Yes, he's been better on the road, but Creamer gets the job done also. Orioles have won 8 of his last 10 starts, including the last 3, 2 of them quality starts. So let's give him the edge. But Baltimore, it's the 3rd best. Baltimore just still not getting any respect. 3rd best record in baseball. I believe they are the 2nd most profitable team. Minnesota can't hit. I mean, they just can't hit. Not only the struggles at Atlanta, this team strikes out. They lead Major League Baseball with this stat, 10.2 Ks per game, double-digit Ks per game. Their road struggles, Baltimore's a good team at home. Baltimore's third best team by record in baseball. Lopez does not get enough of an edge to make this basically a pick'em game. It's now gone up to about minus 113, minus 115 in that range. But I was on this game at minus 08. I like the Orioles today. Very cheap price to play one of the best teams. And you can look, it's a good American League East team against a weak road Minnesota Twin team, Orioles. This was an easy one for me.
Then we have another pair of AL East teams. Red Sox at Toronto. Boston, they've been struggling ice cold. 7 of 8 they've now dropped, scoring just 4 runs in their last 4, hitting 197 this week. And Toronto coming off a 2-1 win over the Giants. They've won 6 of 8, but they're not scoring out of that Giants series, just 2.67 runs per game there. Weird matchup, typically very high scoring, over trending matchup. I believe it's 9 of the last 11 gone over in the matchup history, but team's not hitting right now. So we'll see what we get in this go around. Red Sox won all 4 meetings earlier this season. Jays owned them last year, owned them in Toronto, won 8 of 10 there. And Paxton versus Berrios. Both pitchers been pitching very well. You have Paxton, who allowed 1 run in 4 innings against the White Sox. Prior to that, 3 quality starts. And Berrios, 4 of his 5 June outings are quality starts. Last one, though, was against Oakland. Pitching edge going to give it slightly to Berrios. He's been great at home. And just last couple of starts, not as good. The one prior to the quality start roughed up at Miami, and then he bounces back a little bit against the A's, but it's the A's. Take it with a grain of salt. Just can't back this Boston team. They've been struggling. They're not winning on the road. 7 of 8, really tough. Then you add in that Jays home ownership. Big price here, but I believe it's Toronto or nobody in this game. And I never thought I'd say laying under in this matchup, but with the pitching matchup, these offenses not hitting, might be an underplay.
Yeah, not hitting isn't it's an understatement. Red Sox right now was at $1.97 this week, and as good as they hit at Fenway, 228 on the road, just not getting it done. Toronto gets away winning 2 of 3 from San Francisco with a total of what is it now? 8 runs. So this game is right at the number. It's a fair number. Berrios, like as Ben said, I'll give him a pitching edge. Paxton come out last start, had a little something problem, didn't deem it enough for him to miss the start or push the start back. But got to like how Berrios is pitched, especially at home with a 2.48 ERA, and he handled the Red Sox. Last year, he had 3 quality starts against them. I think the number's right there. One of these teams got to bust through for some hits.
Then it's Astros at Rangers. Right now, Texas leads by 5 games in that division. Astros, they smoked the Cardinals yesterday, 14-0. They've won 3 of 4, scoring 8 runs per game. Meanwhile, Texas coming off that loss against Detroit. They split that series, scoring 6.25 runs per game, or 2 and 4 their last 6. Blanco versus Gray. Blanco, he's coming off a quality start against the Dodgers after giving up 5 runs for Cincy. He has given up 2 homers in 3 straight starts. That's a little bit concerning there. And then Gray, he's allowed 1 run or less in 7 of his last 8 starts. He's been terrific. Coming off a good start against the Yankees, allowing 1 run in 5 innings. He had decent outing against the Astros last year, going 2 runs in 6 innings with a quality start. This to me is Astros or nothing. This is a big price here in this divisional matchup. Astros, they won 7 of 9 meetings in Texas last year. Earlier this year, Rangers stole 2 of 3 in Houston. Granted, you got to take those trends from last year, a little bit of grain of salt. This is the worst the Astros have been in a while. This is the best the Rangers have been in a while. So those ownership trends might start to buck a little bit. But either way, big price here for Houston. Texas, yes, clear as day pitching advantage with Gray, but the bat's kind of going quiet a little bit. You're not hitting on that Tigers pitching, a little bit concerning. 2 and 4 their last 6. You have an Astros team winning 3 of 4 coming in after the big cold streak. This is their series to take care of business. Big price and division matchup. Astros are nobody for me.
Well, the Texas bats, let's keep in mind that they rested Seager and Heem yesterday. By the way, they announced the All-Star starters, and Texas will have 4. The entire infield, basically, except Yandy Diaz will be at first base. But, yeah, look, Texas has been the highest scoring team and the team with the highest batting average all season long. But Astros all of a sudden wake up. They've been dead without Alvarez. 4 of their last 5 games now, they've scored 6 runs or more. The last couple of games at L.A., at the Dodgers, which is a tough place to score, Dodger Stadium. Then they lose the opener 4-2 to St. Louis, but then registered double digits in the last 2 games. So their bat's getting hot at the right time. This is a division that Houston has owned recently. They've owned this matchup prior to this year. So let's see what happens here. A big number, but as Ben said, this is a pitching mismatch with Gray on the mound. Gray had that one bad start after he had missed the start due to the blister. Bounced right back last time. So I'm going to give them the pitching edge. I'll stay off this game. I think the price is right where it's supposed to be.
Then we have a gross matchup in Oakland. White Sox taking a trip there. White Sox coming off a pretty good series against the Angels. They've now won 4 of 6. You have the A's coming off the loss to the Yankees. They've dropped 4 of 5. They're 2-12 the last 14. White Sox did win 5-7 meetings last year. Do we have a pitcher yet in the box yet, John, for the White Sox?
Still no pitch yet. That's the only game on the board that has not announced a starting pitcher.
Yeah, and it'll be Medina for Oakland. They've lost 9 of his 10 outings. Last time out, gave up 4 runs, 7 walks in 5 innings against the Jays. So don't want to be backing a pitcher who's coming off a start with 7 walks. Whoever White Sox put in this, whatever it is, whatever the price is, it's White Sox or nobody for me in this game. Don't want Medina, don't want Oakland. White Sox playing decent right now. And if you're this White Sox team, if you want to compete in the Central, you have to beat up on Oakland. So we'll see if they take care of business.
As crazy as it sounds, if the White Sox put a run there, they can compete in there, and it would have to start today with Oakland. Oakland A's are back to being the worst team. We were battling it out. We gave KC the honors for a time when just at the same time KC was losing 10 in a row as Oakland was winning 7 in a row. But I think Oakland has now cemented their place. They had a perfect game pitched at them just a couple of days. So they're batting a cool $170 this week, 172. Last in runs scored, last in hitting. And we'll see what the pitching matchup is. But White Sox, they're going to be a big enough road favorite. I still have no interest in the A's. White Sox maybe turning the corner. We'll see. Did a nice job scoring some runs, especially in the last couple of games at the Angels.
Then it's Rays at Seattle. Rays coming off 6-1 win at Arizona. They won 3 of 4 now. You have this Seattle team who has dropped 4 of 5. They lost a pair of there where they're big favorites against Washington. Rays did win 5-7 meetings last year. It's a great pitching matchup today. McClanahan versus Miller. McClanahan last start against KC had to leave early with some back tightness. Apparently all is okay there. He only went 3 2/3. Prior to that, his 3 June starts, all quality starts. And then you have Miller, who gave up 3 runs and 4 1/3 at Baltimore. Prior to that, he had a pair of quality starts, and he's had some more success at home this season. Interesting pitching matchup. This price, I find it fairly cheap for McClanahan, what you're getting with this Tampa Bay team. I understand he left last start with the back tightness. That could be a concern. Maybe he leaves out again this start. I just don't think it matters. You have the Seattle team losing 2 of 3 against Washington. They're not hitting anybody. Put McClanahan in front of them. I just think it has worth the take here. Very similar to when the Rays were at San Diego, what was that, a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. McClanahan was a very cheap price on the road then. Not as cheap here, but I think it's warranted. Rays are nobody in this situation for me.
Well, 2 ways here. 100%, you got to worry about McClanahan. He didn't get through 4 innings in his last start because of the back. And just keep in mind, Tampa Bay, we see what their record is, and they've got the best record in baseball as today opens up. But just 8-8, 500 over their last 16 games. Seattle needs some wins. Look, I make this price just a little higher, but that would be if McClanahan was 100%. You would think he's 100%. You're not going to risk putting your ace out there. One of the best, if not the best pitcher in baseball right now, unless he's 100%. But it's not big enough for me to take the home dog, or it's not low enough for me to lay the Rays in this one.
Then Guardians at Cubs, one of these day games in Wrigley here on a Friday. You have Quantrill versus Steele. Guardians playing good ball right now. They won 2 of 3 against KC. They're 7-3 their last 10, tied up for the Twins right now in that division. Cubs, after being red hot, winning 9 of 10, they've now lost 4 straight, get swept by Philly. Cleveland did win 3 of 4 meetings back in 21. Quantrill, as going to be returning from the IL, he was crushed his prior 2 starts for 14 runs and 8 1/3 versus the Orioles and White Sox. And Steele, he's already 2 starts back from the IL, and he's been solid. Last one was a quality start, 1 run in 6 innings in London. So he's been pitching very well since rejoining. We'll see if that continues here against Cleveland. No Quan, no Naylor, and this price is massive, up to a minus 200 here at some spots with the Cubbies. For a team that's lost 4 straight, not hitting, not playing well, Guardians, they just got up. Now a tie with Minnesota after yesterday's loss for that division. Need it. They're playing good ball right now. Quantrill, maybe this IL trip can't get much worse than what he was prior to going the IL, so maybe this stint helped him. He's going to feel more like himself. We'll see if that's the case. Guardians are nobody.
I'm on the Guardians, and I didn't want to be. They forced me with this price. So the overnight line at 145, I thought maybe was a tinge low with Quantrill coming off the IL. Wasn't great in the starts prior to going on it, and Steele's looked real good in the 2 starts since he's back. Cubs are hitting 221. They couldn't score again. They can't be a 200 favorite or a 190 favorite. I took 175 on this game. It's a 1-unit bet. Naylor, Josh Naylor leads the Guardians in RBIs. He's going to sit out, and Quan is going to sit out. But they're lefties. They'll sit out against the lefties. Quan actually hits 300 against left-handed pitches, so a little surprised he's getting it. It might be just a day off. They get Frank Kona back. The manager had missed the last 3 games due to health issues. He will be actual manager today. The game just went too high, guys. What would have stayed off of it? 45, I thought it was a little too low. My number was 55. The game has gone as high as 192. We took 175, a 1-unit bet. It's worth it for the Guardians, who are just going for first place again, tied up with the Twins in the Central Division.
Then we have Tigers at Rockies. Tigers coming off that 4-game split against Texas. They're now 8-6. Their last 14 and playing pretty good ball. Colorado crushed by LA last night. Lost 14-3 there. 3-3 currently on this homestand. Lorenzen versus Gomber. Gomber coming off his best start in Coors Field this year against the Angels. Allowed 2 runs in 5 innings. Still, he's been so bad at Coors Field. Even with that, he's 3-3, 8.72 ERA. And then he did throw 6 shutout innings at Detroit last year. Lorenzen, he's been pitching decent. Last 2 starts, 3 runs and 11 1/3, but Tigers have lost all 5 of his June starts. This is a tough game to wrap your head around. I'm thinking a little bit of a letdown here for Detroit, a little bit of a bounce back for Colorado, playing 500 ball here on the homestand. Slightest of leans to the Rockies. I have a tough time backing Gomber, but good time out last time versus the Angels, good numbers against Detroit. And just got to think there has to be a little bit of a letdown factor for the Tigers heading into this one today after taking 2 at the best offense in baseball.
Yeah, I agree with you totally, that whole perspective. But I just need a little bit more of a price to sink my teeth into Gomber and hope that he's going to come up with another decent start at Coors Field. But we bet the teams who they are today. So as Ben said, Detroit 8-6. Their last 14 games. Don't picture that terrible Detroit team. We had them twice. We caught them perfect. I don't know many guys that can do that out there. We caught them on the first game on Monday, plus 180, and we caught them Thursday, plus 172. Stayed off the 2 middle games, the 2 games that they lost. So we called Detroit perfect in those games. Detroit, this is what we talk about, a live dog. Don't know if I want to make them a favorite after coming off the big win yesterday at Texas. Tough game, but to take the Rockies, to take one of the terrible teams, you guys know I love these 2 teams I actually love to take. Rockies at home and the Tigers. Rather take the Tigers at home also, but in this spot, a little higher, and I could be on the Rockies. They get another bat back, Chris Bryant. He'll come off the injured list, so we'll see where the lines and the lineups go later on today.
Yeah, the Rockies are on that big 8-game losing streak, missing a lot of bats in the lineup, slowly getting piece by piece back. So we'll see if that helps them out. Dodgers at Kansas City. Dodgers coming off the big win there at Colorado. They won 2 of 3 there, 6 of their last 8. This KC team, they've been playing a little bit decent lately. They stopped the sweep there against Cleveland with the win in extras yesterday. And just 11-30 at home, always tough to get behind that. It's going to be Miller versus Marsh. Miller's just had a night and day. Seattle's Miller had a similar start to his career as well, but crushed his last 2 starts, 13 runs, 17 hits, and 9 2/3. Prior to that, 3 quality starts. And then Marsh going to be making his debut. He had decent numbers in AAA. This is a slight lean here to Kansas City. I mean, I don't know if Miller's going to have this, it's typical get right spot, right? We always talk about that with these teams with KC and Oakland. We looked at Herman crushed his prior 2 starts, then perfect game at Oakland. Miller could have something similar here. It's a bounce back situation, but younger arm, you never really know. Not as quite as confident in that bounce back opportunity. Wouldn't be. I mean, these are two pitchers who were both in AAA a month ago. So big price here for the Dodgers on the road. I know it's Kansas City is this bad. I know Dodgers have to take care of business in this one, but pitching matchup that could have been taking place in the minors a few weeks ago. Got to look at the home dog here with Kansas City.
Look, the other factor is the Dodgers had to wait for a long rain delay even before they get started last night. So they didn't get that game over till late. They didn't get travel till late. They didn't get it to KC till very late. This could be a tough spot for a Dodger team. Starting to put it together, hitting the ball a little better. Yes, it was in close, but they're scoring 9 runs per game over the series. Does anybody get a day rest? Do they take KC a little lightly going into one of the worst teams in baseball after a long night of baseball and a flight and the whole bit? We'll see. We'll look for the lineups. As Ben said, could only beat a home dog at this price, not laying 200 on the road when you just played a few hours ago.
Then Yankees at St. Louis. Cards took all 3 meetings last year. Yanks, the bats have woken up a little bit. They've won 4 of 5. They did beat up on the A's last 2 games, scored 21 runs in the last 2 games. Got to take it with a grain of salt because it's Oakland. They had a similar situation back when they faced the A's back in May in Yankee Stadium. Ice cold bats that faced the A's. It woke up the bats a little bit, and there's a little bit of a carryover. This Cardinals team killed by the Astros yesterday. They lost 14-zip. They now dropped 4 of 6. I was high on this Cardinals team going into that trip at London. They split there. I thought we were going to see them come back and kind of be fierce. Didn't see that against Houston. Severino versus Liberatore today. Sev coming off 6 shutout innings. Liberatore, last 2 starts, 9 runs, 5 earned. He gave up 4 unearned runs in London. This is tough to get a read on this Cardinals team, and lean a little bit here to the Yankees. Give Severino the pitching edge, the bat's edge right now to the Yankees. Take it with a grain of salt because it's Oakland, but still doing more than what St. Louis is. This is Yankees or nobody for me.
Yeah, Yankees, it's always great to hit against the worst pitching staff by far. So even with that, even scoring a ridiculous amount of runs the last couple of days, so they just get their batting average up to 216 in the 32 games without Judge. Just for reference, where that would put them last, still behind the Oakland A's. So 15-17, okay, which gives you a winning percentage of .469. That puts them somewhere between the Mariners and the Tigers, okay? Not the Yankees that are challenging in the American League for a wild card spot, but .469, 15-17 without Judge, batting .216 in those 32 games without Judge. They get the luxury of hitting against Liberatore today. Going to be tough to hit him, though, because they're going to be missing Rizzo also. He got hit by a pitch last night, so you got another one of your big bats out of the lineup. Severino, I don't know. Let's see what we get at it. Horrible. Last game, he goes against the Rangers, and he goes 6 shutout innings. Maybe he's got a perfect game in him today. 2 bad teams right now, Yankees without Judge and St. Louis, man. Usually there's a bounce back after getting trounced like that at home. This team, this is another team like the Padres. You look up and down that lineup and say they can't be this bad, and you just keep waiting. But they are. The stats are the stats, not the names. I'm at, where am I at with this game? I'm a pick-em game on this game right now. St. Louis Cardinals pretty much pick to 09. Just no edge in this one for me.
And then D-backs at Angels. Last game on the card here. Carroll, got to see what's going on with him. He's questionable after leaving yesterday's game. D-backs, they've now dropped 4 of 6. They scored a total of just 3 runs in their last 2 against Tampa Bay. And then this Angels team coming off a loss against the White Sox. They split that 4-game series. They're just 3-6 their last 9. Henry versus Ganning. Canning's been great. 5 of his last 6 starts, quality starts. He went 4-0, 2.225 during that stretch, coming off 6 shutout innings and cores. Then you have Henry, who is allowed 1 run in 6 2/3. Pretty good start last time out. Been decent on the road. This is a big price for the D-backs. Angels team who's not winning. Talk about this Angels team going on their big regression, their big losing skid at some point in the summer. Starting to look like they're on that a little bit. 3-6 their last 9. Big price here. Yes, Canning, I give him the pitching edge. He's been pitching phenomenal. Angels just not getting it done with the bats. And when they do, it's just one big performance, and then it doesn't carry over in the next couple of games. Put up 7 runs yesterday. We'll see if there's any kind of carryover for that. Just a big price for one of the better road teams in baseball here in Arizona.
Second best road team in baseball, 4th most profitable team. LA Angels, they've dropped 6 of 9. I'm definitely giving Canning the pitching edge. But all of a sudden, Henry, last 2 look good the last 2 outings. 3 runs over 2 quality starts, 3 runs in those 2 games. Big price. Carroll, very important to Arizona. I don't think he's going to play. If he plays, it's a no-brainer. It's Arizona. Numbers high enough. They moved this game 30 cents. Carroll, again, he's 5th in Major League Baseball in WAR, wins above replacement at 3.8. This game opened up on the overnight, Canning at minus 115. It's sitting at minus 150 now. That's a ridiculous move. And they're moving it basically on Carroll not playing. Carroll's worth something to the team. He's just not worth 35 cents to the line. It's Arizona or nobody.
And that's the Friday card, guys. A lot of good matchups going on today. Division battles, everything else. A lot of value throughout the weekend. Coming in with 6 straight winning days. We'll see which of those stick. As you guys know, we are not here on the weekends. Go to the How to Beat the Bookie website, howtobeatthebookie.com, or download the app. You guys can get all the info there throughout the weekend with 6 straight winning days, John. You're running hot right now.
Running hot, 6 straight winning days. Again, I'll say it again. 160 or better dog every single day, and capped off by yesterday with 2 dogs at better than 170. This is that time of year, guys. We call it dog days of summer. It's here.
And let's close out the June on another big night, John, and then hopefully head hot into the All-Star break. Appreciate you guys tuning in every day. We got a lot to get to on these Friday slates. Let's make some money, John.
Enjoy your 4th of July weekend, guys. We'll see you back on Monday.